Hello, hello, small business growth family. Welcome back to another episode of the Small Business Growth Podcast. I am so happy that you're here. If you're new here, I'm your host, Madison Page. Today, we're talking about the Freepreneur origin story and kind of the major values behind this idea of being a Freepreneur. If you don't know what the Freepreneur lifestyle is, the episode from Tuesday, or the last episode that we posted, was all about this. And it's really the major idea that we have coined around here, that I have created. I always say we, it's me, myself, and my own brain have created in order for us to live a more balanced and easeful life inside of business. Today we're going to talk about where this came from, how we created it, and what that really looks like, so you can kind of break down what these major values are, as well as you can see that I have been right where you are, living a lifestyle where you're feeling like you're drowning in your business, you're feeling like your business is running you and you are not running your business, and we're gonna reverse engineer that a little bit so you can live this more balanced, passion-filled life that you really enjoy living. So this is what we're talking about today. We're diving on in. If you are new here, my name is Madison Page. I am a business growth specialist and I help people learn how to stand out and sell out online so you can build an absolute obsessed online community around your brand. That is really what the major focus is behind everything that we do, is a very community-based form of marketing. But around here, we like to teach in a more fun and conversational type of way, kind of like sipping coffee with a biz bestie is the little slogan that we go by. As you can see here, I live out of my mini school bus, and the options for where we can record these things are slim, and you would not want to see the monstrosity that is going on behind you right now. So this is where we're diving in from today. Welcome to my little queen size bed inside of my bus, and let's dive on in to the origin story of the Freepreneur lifestyle. From a very young age, I guess we're just gonna take a trip down memory lane here together, but from a very young age, I was an entrepreneurial kid. I always knew I was gonna be an entrepreneur. I found little business cards the other day in one of my bins, probably from when I was 14, learning how to babysit, and it was the name of my babysitting company. I think it was like Kid Lovers or something, which not very creative, Maddie. Maybe we should go back to the drawing board on that one. But it gave me, I'd had all of my stuff out there. I've always really wanted to run a business. I had lemonade stands. I would be like this kid that would just be making bracelets and selling them on eBay. You get the deal, growing up in the early 2000s. And really what it came down to when I started actually getting into business, my family bought an adventure resort when I was 12 years old. When I was 12 years old, I loved it. It was whitewater rafting, ziplining, paintballing. If you've been in my world for long enough, you've known this, okay? I started working there when I was 14, and I was working in the office. I was taking reservation phone calls. I was doing big time reservation sales. I was doing rearranging the store, kind of running the store areas, checking people out at the registers, things like that. By the time I was 16, I was running their social media. I was always the driven kid, kind of taking big steps above and beyond of where I really needed to. I put high expectations on myself as a child. And so when I was 17, I was literally I just graduated high school. I was a junior in high school, and I was running this business of my family's. I was the operations manager. I stepped up, and this was no fault of my parents, but I just kept putting more obligation on myself. I loved the business. I wanted more to do with the business. I just kept wanting more. And I was like, give me more. And my parents, running a business with 50 plus employees, were like, yeah, please, take some stuff off of our plate. If you're willing, if you're able, do the thing. We're excited to give you this experience. And so I had a lot to do on my plate. Lo and behold, by the time I was 17 or 18 years old, I had a ton to do on my plate. My to-do list was long. I was adding structure to this business, adding organization to this business behind the scenes. I was getting gritty and trying to figure figure out how we could be more efficient by running this business. You know, it was a lot of like the transferring from paper to online, a lot of different systems and structures, social media, all of the things. So when I was 17, I started running this business as an operations manager. I was the operations manager of a large business that had 2 locations. We had campground, cabin, bar, restaurant, all of these different things. They were 40 miles apart from each other. I was going in between the 2 locations basically every day. And this business, because we were in Wisconsin, is only open April to October. So pretty much from the moment I would be done with school, I would go up there. Every weekend I was going up there when it was open, but the day I let out of school, I went up there and I moved up there for the entire summer. And when I tell you for these times, I absolutely adored this place. This has nothing to do with me not loving the company that we had. I absolutely, when I say it was so much of myself, I put so much of my identity into this business. I absolutely adored this place, and I still do. And it made me who I am. It made me want to do this nomadic lifestyle that I do. I would be such a different person without this place. And really, truly, even from the hard work and the dedication and the drive and the grit that I've had, I wouldn't have this business that I have today without this business. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. I adore this place. It was my life. It was a lot of my identity for a very long time, but it was also me not being able to leave the property ever from, you know, middle of May to the end of summer. It was 16-hour days, day after day after day. It was 80 to 90 scheduled hours a week, which, you know, comes out to be 100, 110, whatever. So many hours of really, really hard work. I had a lot on my plate, and I just kept on wanting more. I was like, okay, we're here, but we still need to do these things. We need to do that thing. That literally by August 1st, my brain would be so mush that I would just be ready to not deal with any person. If you know me at all, I am such an extrovert. You can hear it in my voice. I have a podcast. I got a YouTube channel. I'm on Instagram all the time. I am an extrovert. I'm a people's person. I love being surrounded by people. I love my community. I love chatting with people. And by August 1st, I would say, throw me into a hobbit hole and please don't talk to me for at least 4 weeks. I was so spent by the end of August that I like literally could not wait to do absolutely nothing and just recoup. It would be so overwhelming. And again, I was a child for most of these. I was 17, 18, 19. Like I was a very early on. I had a lot of business responsibility. And again, I wouldn't have the business that I have today. I wouldn't be the coach, the consultant, the business owner that I had today without this experience. Nothing to do with the experience. It was just what I was handed. It was what I wanted to do. It was what my story is. And I didn't even realize it until I was like, okay, Maddie, September, I was in college. I went to college for business management and marketing so I could run my family's business more effectively and provide more support there. And in September one year, I was like, okay, Maddie, I know I want to start my own business. I was rearing third, kind of going home plate on graduating college. And I was like, I want to start my own thing. What does that look like? And the number one thing that I said is I don't want to feel burnt out weeks after starting this business. I really want this business to feel very different than the all-consuming feeling that I felt around my family's business that I had for so long. And if you have a family business, if you grew up in a family business, you get it. It is just like you're there. It is your life. It is everything that we did. And it was a lot of my own choosing. Like it wasn't like people were like, here, it's not like my parents handed me a to-do list and was like, go get this done. It was me wanting to take on more responsibility because I've always been the kid and I loved it. And I loved the entrepreneurial side. I loved being able to like test things, see what works, see the growth that happened from it. I loved running, like managing a team of 50 plus employees. It lit me up. And so I wanted more and more and more. But what I didn't want more of was the burnout that came with it, because I would be down and I would be out for 4 to 6 weeks, literally just wanting to recoup and not hang out with anybody. And I realized at that point that I was no longer my like ideal self-image. I was no longer the person that I wanted to be as a manager, as a person, as a friend, as a daughter, whatever. I could not perform to the extent that I could because I was so stressed out. And I would look back at some of the ways that I would handle tough situations, upset customers, and I didn't like who I was in those moments. That is when I realized something needs to change here, because I am so stressed out that I can't even manage my own mentals, you know? And so I decided at that moment that I was like, you know what, Maddie, when I start my own business, things will be different. And of course I was running this business, but it wasn't my business. It was my family's business. We have a partner in the business and they made the final calls. I was kind of obeying other people's rules, how they wanted to run the business. And of course, in anything, the more that you do it, the more that you realize the things you would do differently. And the things that I would do differently was the organization, was the balance, was hiring more upper level management, so things weren't so crazy. So when I started my own business, which is the business that at least a morph of the business that you see now, I started doing social media management. I moved into social media consulting, and now I do a lot more just business consulting after working with hundreds of people, getting my 2 degrees, 8 years on social media. I blogged for a long time and I had a blog around things. So it kind of morphed into the business that you see today, into some business consulting. As I said, it wasn't going to be the all-consuming way. I wanted to be able to work anywhere that I wanted to. I wanted to be able to travel. I wanted to be able to keep my favorite parts about my life and myself and still be able to run this business that I absolutely adore and I am so passionate about. And I was like, this is what I want. These are the things I wanted to be able to work anywhere. I wanted to be able to travel. I knew that my life I knew that I wasn't going to be somebody that just was like sitting in one place, needed my team in one place and needed an office. I didn't really want that. I knew that I wanted schedule freedom, but above all else, I wanted to be able to look at my life, look at the things that I really wanted to do, and I'm not really somebody that I wanted to give up what it was. I didn't want to give up some of the things that I really love to do in my day-to-day. I didn't want to have to give up the hobbies that I loved. I didn't want to have to give up like at my family's business, I had no hobbies. I never worked out. I couldn't even eat right. I would lose a bunch of weight because I wasn't eating, because it was all consuming. And I said, I don't want that. I want to be able to live my normal life on my personal side, and I want to be able to infuse my business into that as if it was a job. And it isn't that it doesn't have to run my life. I am still running my life and my business is an element of it. And I think a really big point here to make is that I am not putting my own self-identity inside of my business. My business is something that I am running and that I am passionate about, and I'm looking at it like a project. I'm looking at it like a hobby. I'm looking at it like a job, but it is not who I am. And I think that was a big distinction between me being able to mature in this other business. Is I made that business my identity for more than just the 4 months that we were open. I made that business my identity in the other seasons. I picked my college around it. Every weekend I would go there. I would drop plans with my friends in order to get to this business on the weekends because it was what I thought I had to do. It was what was normal, was, this business is everything. And it's not, it is something that I put on myself, that this is what I had to do. Nobody told me that. It was just, that was my mentality. I run this business. I need to be there. This business runs my life. And so when I sat down, I wanted to be running my business. And so what this came down to is I wanted to build something that was balanced. I wanted to build something that was fun. I wanted to build something that was easeful. And it didn't feel heavy when I sat down. I wanted to literally want to do what I would do for free and be okay with it. And I would do everything that I do right now without making $1 because I absolutely adore it. Maybe not website design. That's not exactly my forte. However, it is part of it. I love my business and I really feel that balance, that today my my boyfriend just asked me if I wanted to go for a hike this afternoon, and I said no because I needed to be more structured right now. But next week, I said, can we plan it for next week? And I will get everything done in advance so I can say, yeah, let's go for a hike all afternoon and go romp around the woods. And I would absolutely adore to do that. And I can do that at 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. I was at breakfast until 11 a.m. today. We went out to Waffle House. If you know, you know. You have to when you're in the Southeast. We're in North Carolina right now. And we had a lovely breakfast, got some coffee, did a little walk, and now I'm doing my work. I wanted to be able to create a business that I can be structured, and I have to be structured. This isn't about not working. It's being structured when you can be, and having systems and strategies and automation in place so when I don't have to be, or when I don't want to be, or when I'm going on vacation, or when I want to go hang out with my friends, whatever, I don't have to be. It's not that I'm married to my business. It's not that I have to be on my phone 24/7 in order to make sales. I can be confident that my business is still working for me even when I'm not working. And I just want to put out there that I think there is so much messaging around this hustle culture, around needing to grind until 10 p.m. every day, in needing to make your business everything that you're doing. And I want to say that some of that is true. If you have a 9-to-5 and you have family and you have all of these things, other things going on, and you're trying to build this life, you're trying to build a business that you love and really like expand it, time is necessary. I grinded for my first year or two and really spent a lot of time on my business, building my business during COVID. I was like, perfect. I get to sit at home and I get to work on my business from sun up to sundown, and I loved it. I loved it. Of course, if I wanted to take a break, I would take a break. If I was feeling burnt out, I'd go out and touch some grass, okay? I would take those breaks, but that was my grind time. Even now in my business, I have like seasons of business that I work harder than others, but when I don't want to be, my summer, I love having an easy kind of, so I love being outside. I love whitewater kayaking. And so that's the time of year that a lot of my hobbies are in session. And so I like to build my business around my summer having less work. And so really going back to this freepreneur lifestyle is I wanted to have a freedom-based life as an entrepreneur, as opposed to having a life where my business was truly running everything that I have. Of course, there's days that things are a little bit more structured, a little bit more heavy. My to-do list is longer than others. My to-do list is still endless. It's just me being able to actually direct it. And so some of the major points that I want to talk about today, and some of the major values behind the freepreneur lifestyle. Everything that I teach you, everything that I talk about, every course that I have, every masterclass, every podcast episode, every live program, every one-on-one client, I really focus on helping you build this freedom-based life. If you don't want a freedom-based life, I might not be the consultant, the coach, whatever you want, the specialist for you. If you are like, no, Maddie, like I literally am, I want to grind, I want to hustle, I have this feeling, like I don't really care to have other hobbies, I want my entire life to be my business, I don't think that I am the specialist for you. Wow, that is a really big B. I'm not gonna lie, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. Holy, but I might not be the specialist for you if that is what you're looking for. If you are wanting to have a life outside of your business where you have a family and you can be at home with your kids and you can have some nice time with your husband or your partner or whoever you have, or you want to be able to still spend time with your friends and that you want to have hobbies outside of it, and you want your business to be a part of your life that builds financial freedom, that you absolutely love building, but it is a part of your life. That is what we're all about here. That is what we teach on this side, this little nook of the internet. That is what we're going for. When I talk about the freepreneur lifestyle, I talk about living a life where you're able to enjoy personal and professional, and it's still an area of your life. So looking at some of the values here behind what we teach, that if you really feel called to that freedom-based lifestyle as a business owner, that you have other things going on, in your life as well. We teach balance, we teach ease, we teach systems and structure, and above all else, we teach community building. The most major asset to building this freedom-based lifestyle, a business that is incredibly successful, as well as a life that is incredibly fulfilling, is having this community in the background so your business lasts. As you ebb and flow, these people are so connected to you as the business owner, as the product developer, whatever that might be, that they will ebb and flow with you as you move and you shake through your business, because inevitably you will. As the high achiever that you will, as the multi-passionate entrepreneur that you are, you will move and shake. Your business will not be the exact same from the day that you started to the day that you decide to sell it or end your days in your business, whatever that is. It will move and shake, and if you build a community that is around meaning, that is around message, around authenticity, around who you are as a business owner, like, if you can really get out there and share some of your major values, you will build this community. The most important asset to a more balance-based business, to having a super fruitful financially and personally business and life, is building this community around your brand. I have taken weeks off. I have, stopped a launch in the middle of it because it wasn't the time for me. I have gone on vacation. I guess it wasn't vacation. Like, somebody in my family has gotten sick and I've had to up and leave for a couple of weeks, and my community comes with me. I've had clients that have gotten pregnant and had a really hard time during their pregnancy, and they took a step back from their business and they were able to come back and make the same amount of sales that they were making prior to. It's that if you have to take that step away, or if that you are pivoting from selling this to selling something completely different, your audience still loves you and they'll come and follow you through it. The major values that we talk about in the Freepreneur lifestyle is truly building that community, that warmth for longevity, and not just trying to make this quick buck immediately. And really what this is as well is, again, this isn't about not working. This is about being structured, having strategy, figuring out the knowledge base, learning what you need to learn, having automation, using technology in the back end. So when you are working, when you can work, you are efficient. And that when you have days that you want to go spend time with your kids or your friends or your family, you can. So really, I want to say all of this to tell you that I've been in your shoes. I've been drowning in a business in a job that I absolutely adored with my whole heart, and I put my entire identity in it. If the business was struggling, I was struggling. If a customer was upset, I was upset. And I want to just say that there is another way to run a business. Running a business that is fun and that you adore and that you love it, just like the business that you're running right now or the life that you're running right now, but you're able to have more balance, more rest, more guilt-free rest, and be able to run a business that makes a lot of money, brings in the income, but also builds freedom in other ways. Freedom is not just financial. It's schedule, it's task freedom, being able to do the tasks that you want to do and outsource the ones that you don't, being able to not have to do your 9 to 5 that you hate, and instead you're building the business that you love. It's, it's schedule, it's time, it's location, it's task freedom on top of the financial freedom that you have. There is another way. You don't have to be married to the business that you have right now. So I like to share this origin story because I want you to see that I have been where you've been. I see where you are. I see your heart. I see your soul. I see your drive, but I want to match that with telling you it doesn't have to be that way. There's times of grinding, there's times of hustle, there's times of working harder than others, but there's also times of rest and play and fun and guilt-free vacations and being able to treat your friends and your family to things because that's just what you love to do, and because you have a business that you know you can do this. And I don't even know how to express the amount of gratitude that I have every single day for the business that I have spent the time to build, for the community that I have spent the time to build. And right now in my business is a growing season. I am in a season right now where I'm working on my business. There's definitely times that I work in my business. Right now I'm working on my business. I'm working on systems, I'm working on structure, I'm working on automation, I'm working on community growth. So future me can be even more gracious, even more grateful, even more proud of me right now that I took this time to inwardly work on the behind the scenes of my business in order to have a more fruitful future. A lot of business owners only work in their business that's working on, making product, shipping product, making content, that you're just kind of coasting. You have to take seasons of your business that you are actually, and take strategic action to have seasons in your business where you're able to develop different systems, talk about email marketing and automation, and do the things that have been on your list for years, but you just don't feel like you have the time to actually go and do those things. You have to be able to strategically know how to kind of reverse engineer, work on the behind the scenes of your business to build a more freedom-based life in the future for you. And that is what I'm focusing on right now. So I wanted to kind of share this origin story because if you haven't heard it, I think it's powerful that from a young age I am where you have been. I am still young. I have so much life to live, but I'm able to share a lot of things because I started at 14 running a business that was all-consuming. I've seen it from my parents. I've seen it from other managers that worked for us. I've seen it from myself. I've seen it from my clients that come to me saying, well, it's just kind of what it is to be a business owner. It doesn't have to be. You can have this balance. Even like sometimes I'll be on people's podcasts and they're like, you talk about this freedom-based life. Like that's kind of hard as an entrepreneur. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be. That is your own wiring in your own mind saying that. So without feeling too preachy, I just want to tell you that there is another way. There's a better frame of it in everything that we teach in all of our programs, in all of my trainings, on my podcast. When working directly with me, you get this strategic approach to building this community that builds a freedom-based lifestyle. You build an online community so you can stand out and sell out on social media, so that allows you to build a more freedom-based, balance-based lifestyle. So you know your community is there, so you know your content is working for you when you're not even working, and it allows for sales to flow in while you sleep, while you vacation, while you work out, where you go and have a hike with your boyfriend in the middle of the day, that you're able to make sales and you're able to confidently step away knowing that systems and things are still working for you in the back end. So that is today's episode, all about the origin story of the Freepreneur lifestyle that I'm always talking about. So in case you didn't know, I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you are new here and you are loving on this idea, make sure that you subscribe, whether you're on YouTube, you're on the podcast, you subscribe, and you come and follow us over on Instagram at thisismadisonpage. That is my Instagram. I'm on my Instagram stories all the time. You can follow along with my freepreneur self, who is traveling in my bus. We're going kayaking all the time, enjoying life, traveling around. Come hang out with me at This Is Madison page. You can see us there. And I just want you to know that there is another way. There is a more balanced way. You don't have to be married to your business. You can be running your business and not letting your business run you. That is all for today. I hope that you have the most wonderful day. Make sure that you keep on binging along. If you are wondering a little bit more about what this Freepreneur life is and how to get started with it, the last episode that we posted kind of gave a little bit of a guided experience at the midpoint of that episode, that we kind of dove into how to actually get started here, what it means to become your own business icon, and why that is so important to building this more freedom-based life. So dive into that other episode. I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you. I am rooting for you, and I am in your corner always.